people who did not hear it earlier, I'm just going to repeat it a little more. Okay, so quick thing, my name is Ram. I'm going to be the presenter for today's agenda. Okay. Okay. So basically, we're just going to cover the business intelligence and what is the course content that we are going to cover. To just give you an idea, we'll also talk about the job opportunities and how is business intelligence relevant to data warehousing, etc. And last but not the least, what are the course differentiators, okay, and why you may want to work with us in learning this particular tool. So we could certainly go through these particular details. So to give a quick idea about myself, okay, I've been working in the BI space for the last 14 years, worked for Big Five, and then I'm currently running my own practice. I have my own set of clients, and I'm working in the capacity of an information solution architect in the BI space. And at the same time, I handle a large number of teams, and I run the BI program for different clients. So I'm working with them at the consultant level, where I could be working for a few hours for some clients and more number of hours for some other clients. So that's a little bit about me. Coming to one of the most important things, that is significance of business intelligence. As far as the IT budget is concerned, right, this is one department which is up there as a top initiative for any IT department in a specific company. So it's like 10%, 11%, 11.2 is what this slide shows. It may vary in few percentages year over year. So it could be higher this year, it could be a little lower next year. But at least it is one of the top 2 or 3 initiatives that is currently available for us to focus. Okay, and as I may be a little bit biased because I'm working in this particular industry, but certainly this is one particular good field of IT that you could build a career upon. And there are other technologies you are seeing that like ERP, SAN, networking, etc. So they're in a different order, okay, in terms of the budget is concerned. Okay, and moving on to the next slide, we were earlier talking about what are the different tools that are currently available for us in the market. You have SAP Business.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Guys, were you able to see? You're able to see the session? Okay, so SAP Business Objects is one of the market leader out there. Then you have Cognos, which is owned by IBM, and you have other technologies like Oracle Business Intelligence, other products, MicroStrategy, okay, and there are other players. But more importantly, SAP Business Objects is one of the few enterprise level tools that is currently available in the market because of the SAP's footprint out there across the globe. This is possibly one of the topmost BI tool that is available for us, and which is an enterprise level tool. That means sitting here in the southern part of USA, I could be running an entire tool across different continents, and my end users could be somewhere in Australia, or it could be in Canada or Europe, but I could still be running the entire infrastructure sitting in US or any part of Asia. So if you just move on to the next slide, right? So there are other compelling reasons that you might want to try out getting into a field like SAP Business Objects. Okay, as far as I started my career around 2000 or so, this tool was the #1 tool, originally owned by a French company. Okay, it's a France-based company, and then I worked until 2008 on non-SAP resources. This was a BI tool, and then subsequently SAP bought over because this was the #1 BI tool, and certainly there was a jump in the market value for this tool, and the footprint also increased. Okay, then you have more demand because there are more number of projects that SAP owns, and wherever SAP ERP exists, then certainly by default business intelligence tool would be business objects. Okay, and SAP is one of the highest revenue contributing tool. SAP BI is one of the highest revenue contributing tool, and it was this happened when the market was in the downtrend. Okay, last but not the least, one thing that really hooked me into learning this tool, into getting into this tool and then making a career is it is very easy to learn. Okay, and all you have to do is drag and drop. I don't really have to master SQL, though I do need to have an understanding of SQL when I'm designing some of the data mart-like structures. Okay, and most important thing I would like to share here is it is a tool, and you can be learned in about 3 to 4 weeks time, and certainly it's not having so much of depth that it's not going to be complex. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Okay, if I were to start getting into the tool, I would want to classify myself. Okay, where do I stand? Can I be a developer, analyst, an administrator, architect, a migration specialist, or a subject matter expert? If I have a strong technical background, I could start off as a developer. If I'm more business oriented, I come from the business background, maybe finance, sales, okay, certainly go towards a career as a business objects or BI analyst. In case I'm coming from some administration background, I can certainly learn administration. And typically, right, any of these large projects will have multiple number of administrators. Doesn't mean that if I'm not coming from that background, doesn't mean that I cannot be an administrator. Okay, somebody who is familiar with the architecture, does administration, scales the architecture, and who can make recommendations based on their prior experience. Okay, one can be an architect with that kind of experience. Now, there is also one important phase almost we go through every other year is this particular tool. There is always going to be some kind of new version that is going to come into the market. Every year and a half, 2 years, you can be rest assured that there are going to be some conversion and migration projects. So one can learn to be a migration specialist within a short span of time. And this course that we are going to conduct in a few days' time that is going to commence will certainly cover all these particular areas. And now anybody who wants to be a subject matter expert, this course is certainly going to be a head start for you folks. Okay. Again, there could be a combination of these particular different roles that I shared with you on screen, but eventually, right, everything or anything will certainly lead you towards a competent and a secure job. Okay. Now, I know most of the people are familiar with software development lifecycle. You have defined design, you have development, testing, and deployment. The same way, right? data warehouse is one specific area. It is gaining a lot of prominence over a period of time. Last 10 years, 14 years, or 15 years, right? This has been a very, very hot field. Okay, there are source source data, then you have the data warehouse, you've got the data marts and data access. As far as this course is concerned, we are mainly focusing on these particular areas: data mart like structures, we call it as universe, and also the data access, or just the reporting, or the ad hoc query tool, or a dashboard, or so. So long story short, our focus would be towards data mart, designing structures that are similar to data marts, or they could be based on a data mart, and subsequently you are basically accessing data through this particular data mart. So that is the significance of this particular course and its relevance with respect to data warehouse lifecycle. And moving on to the next screen. Okay, I'm sure everybody here, or at least some of you, must be wondering what is a prerequisite for this particular course. Okay, some understanding of structural query language will give you a head start, but proficiency in a structural query language can certainly consolidate your job. Okay, it can certainly get you a job and then secure a job. Okay, some concept of DBMS, RDBMS. I believe this is a part of course curriculum for a lot of undergrad courses. Okay, be it in Asia or be it in Americas. Okay, so this is one particular area, and I have some material that is available on these concepts, database designs, etc., and also the structural query language. Feel free to ask me when you enroll so that I would be able to share this information. And then anybody who has some kind of exposure to information technology will certainly appreciate that they can learn the tool a little more faster. Last but not the least, the Microsoft Excels and Microsoft Access. I don't really have to be a part of IT to start using to start using information technology. I could be supporting my business, or could be it finance, be it manufacturing, or it could be some quality control. Okay, but more importantly, right, I might be using tools like Microsoft Excel and Access for my data presentation or for some kind of reports. Any familiarity with these tools is certainly going to be a big advantage for you. Now, some of the course modules. Some of you must be hearing about these things for the first time, and it is absolutely okay if you are hearing it for the first time, because I believe you might be wanting to you might be ready for switching your career from some other department of IT to BI, or you could be a non-IT personnel getting into BI. So I was not a IT guy or computer science graduate to get into this particular course. I was a basic civil engineer with no experience. That's when I got into this particular course. Okay, so what we're going to talk about within the course modules is some introduction to reports or reporting solutions. Okay, you have the desktop version of reports in the older version of Business Objects, and then the latest being Web Intelligence, because we were talking about the enterprise level tool. So all the reporting is accessible over web interface or browser based. Okay, we talked about data marts. Universe design is very much similar to that. Okay, whatever is the optimized structure for reporting, okay, we use the universe design there. And one area that has gained big prominence is administration. I've noticed that within the interviews, any additional knowledge about administration will be the differentiating factor for you. So that's why we are covering this particular aspect of it. Then you have SAP dashboards, okay, which is an extremely important topic. We will certainly cover a few examples, so that way, right, we are competent enough to clear our interviews. One area would be crystal reports. Crystal reports is strictly for people who are very good developers, somebody who can understand complex situations and can still do the reporting. That is for crystal reports. And whoever um, is very capable with, who is very strong with SQL, they can certainly use the crystal reports capability. Then there are a couple of new tools out there, and one is Lumira, the other one is Explorer. Those are the in thing right now. For any kind of analysis, for ad hoc reporting, ad hoc charts, etc., those two particular areas are assume a great importance. Last but not the least, right? If I were the interviewer, I would cover all these things and also would want to know if these resources have some kind of capability, understanding, or exposure or experience, prior experience with migration. So every now and then, right, you run into this SAP Babja migration projects, okay? And certainly whoever has gained a couple of years experience would certainly have handled one such project. So there is plenty of information that is out there available as a part of this course, and it is up for your grabs, provided you are handling each particular, I mean, you are revising whatever you are learning on a daily basis, going through the theory, and then follow it up by daily practice. I can certainly tell you, end of 25-30 sessions, right, you certainly would be in a position to, again, particular topic, I would be in a lot of interview questions along, say, okay, what are the interview questions? Or probably end of the class, I will send you some. You are able to look into it, okay, online, learn by yourself, and then if you have any questions, you can certainly ask me, okay? And then these are the different course modules. Okay, what are the course differentiators? How do we differentiate ourselves from other people out there who are providing training in this particular field? Okay, I can certainly share some of the scenario questions. Okay, while we are going through this particular course, while I'm imparting the knowledge on the concepts and being hands-on, I would be covering those generic scenarios, okay? The interview scenarios, okay? In the interview, they're going to certainly nail down people on scenarios. Those are the things which we will be covering. More importantly, right, I would see it as this course as a discipline myself. To this 25-30 sessions, right? I can certainly, if I can do my assignments regularly, the tests, okay, which we are going to share, and if you're able to follow the interview questions topic-wise while we are doing, just remind me during the course. I should be able to cover at least 10-15 minutes every day. We should be able to cover some of the interview questions just to ensure that you have a head start and to make it very interesting. Okay, and then end of the course, we would be covering doing some mock interviews. But again, mock interviews would be for a group of people, so that way, right, whoever can volunteer to take the interview in a specific module, I'm going to keep asking them some rapid fire questions. And that's when it is up to you to make a note, what are all the interview questions, okay? That will be a big advantage for you. And last but not the least, right, the placement assistance for qualified candidate. Okay, I just want to keep it as a very, very generalized statement because not everybody might be ready for an interview. Okay, during the course, during the course duration, right? That would be the appropriate time towards the end of the course. Okay, we could certainly discuss about mock interviews and some placement assistance. For sure, we will be helping you with resume preparation as such. Okay, I'm sure there must be tons of people who may be able to impart this kind of training. But I can assure you that one session of training from me may be way different depending upon the audience, depending upon the questions you ask, the conversation and the course depth changes. Okay, So these are definitely the course differentiators. Okay, whatever experience we have, right, the vast experience will come into picture when we share some of the study material, some of the scenarios, and also the regular assignments. Okay, then what is the course duration? About 4 to 6 weeks. Could be a couple of days here and there, or maybe a week here and there. But more importantly, right, we are not trying to run a race where I want to finish ahead of you all. All we are trying to do is this is a marathon. Okay, we want everybody to finish the race. Okay, there is no rush. Okay, and we have this resume preparation. I can certainly tell you, right, we can help you there, provided you're qualified candidates as far as you're ready with work permit, etc. Right, we should be able to help you some way or the other. And as I mentioned earlier, I should be able to help you with some of the mock interviews as such. Okay, and so typically, right, we'll be going through some of the question and answer sessions at this point. Okay, before we just start that, okay, to give you an idea about what this particular tool is as far as the jobs are concerned. Okay, if you just look for these search engines like Indeed, okay, you can just Business Objects developer, okay, San Francisco, okay, you get a list of different job postings. Okay, they may not say it is a BI developer or Business Objects developer or Business Objects analyst. It could be anything for that matter. It could be analyst. So it could be something like BI analyst, or it's business system analyst with business objects or business intelligence. And at the same time, right, you have something like business objects architect. Okay, you have these business intelligence solutions architect, all these things. These are all relevant for our job search. Okay, you have this dice.com. Okay, dice.com, something like you have San Francisco. Okay, business intelligence, project manager, or all these things. Okay, data warehouse developer. Okay, probably they're looking for a combination of tools out here. So certainly, do a little bit homework. You should be able to see there are a lot of projects that are available. More importantly, right, if you were to ask me my candid opinion, there are at least about 15 to 20 positions that keep coming to me. People email me, different vendors, they send me emails saying that would you have a business objects developer or analyst? I can certainly tell you confidently there are about 15 to 20 positions or jobs that keep knocking at our door. And again, as I told you, right, whichever, if I'm looking at one single email of mine, I should be seeing a lot of these particular job opportunities. But more importantly, right, if you try and look at the market, at least there are 5 to 10 positions that are unfilled on a regular basis. I'm just talking about only the few vendors that I'm working with. They reach out to me. And there is a network out there which is beyond my scope. They have tons of these requirements, depending upon which local area you belong to. So long story short, let's go ahead and start our question answer. And can you start asking me those questions? You can put in your name and you can type in your question. I'll try to go through each of them. You could probably key in your so you may want to start keying in your questions. Any questions, folks? Okay, probably. Any questions, folks? Am I missing any of these questions here? Attendees. Okay. Yeah, can you please key in the questions so that I'll be able to answer? So what I'll do is, since nobody has any kind of question at this point, what I would want you to, what I want to cover at this point is, okay, there are different modules within the course content, okay, the desktop intelligence, web intelligence, universe design, okay, administration. There are at least about 8 to 10 modules out there. So I can tell you that last 10 years, 15 years or so, there are predominantly 2 or 3 modules that have been able to provide jobs for all the candidates, be it experienced or be it new candidates. Those particular modules are desktop intelligence, which is at this point is obsolete, but from the migration perspective, it is very important. Okay, then you have web intelligence reports. Okay, that is the reporting tool that we are going to focus. Somebody who can understand and is proficient with all the concepts within the web intelligence can certainly crack the interview. Okay, and then you have universe design. Universe design, they have something called as UDT, universe design tool, and then you have IDT, information design tool. So universe design itself is now divided into 2 different modules. We will go through details of both these particular modules, okay, because having web intelligence, desktop intelligence exposure, plus universe design, be it UDT or IDT, is going to fetch you a job. And what I've noticed is of late, okay, people are asking questions on administration. So typically, right, somebody, if I were to go in for a developer kind of role, if I'm able to answer everything, they really want to understand if I have any kind of additional capabilities besides reporting and universe design. This is where they would say, okay, would you have any kind of exposure to administration? If so, what kind of tasks have you done? What kind of objectives have you been able to accomplish. Okay, so that's one differentiating factor for us. Other than that, you have SAP dashboards. Once you are very familiar with reporting, then learning to do dashboards, which is nothing but the visualization part, is certainly going to be way more easy than just learning the SAP dashboards on your own. Instead of starting directly, you could start learning some web intelligence reports, etc. You have a platform set, and then you can focus on tools like SAP dashboards. And by the time you're done with these particular areas, right, you could certainly learn or be more proficient with tools like Lumira and Explorer. And once you start filling in your profile with all this kind of experience, right, you certainly have a big advantage in terms of competition. Okay, and then you, again, as I told you, right, your best value for your money would be the reporting modules, universe design, administration, and probably the dashboards up to some extent. Okay, and anything like more than this, right, is always going to be a bonus. Learning some migration because you are already familiar with administration, that is a big plus. Okay, this is about the course modules. So typically any project, right, they require somebody who's a universe designer, a reporting analyst or report developer, okay, an administrator or a dashboard developer. It could be any of these things. So these are some of the course modules I would want to focus as a learner, okay. As a trainer, I still want to focus majority on those particular areas. Anything addition, okay, anything beyond those particular modules is always going to be a bonus for us, okay. And then what else? The other important aspect is I will be providing those regular assignments, okay. So you certainly would want to do those regular assignments on a daily basis, okay. One thing, you can learn it fast. Just a couple of hours, you just go back and revise the material that we are providing. We're going to point to, we're going to provide. You can just review the information and you can be up to speed pretty quickly. Remember, this is a tool. Any tool can be learned within 2 to 3 weeks, and Business Objects tool is no different. Yeah, experience is something I can't tell you you'll find a shortcut. You'll have to go through this. And my sincere, my 2 cents on this is treat this as a job, 8 hours a day, few hours a day, 5-6 hours a day, depending upon what you want to. You're able to focus in 1 month. I can certainly assure you, you can clear half of the interviews. Okay. If I were to say there are about 200, 250 questions that you would want to learn, once you learn this questions and answers, right? It's not just the questions. I'm sure you should be able to clear the interviews on your own with little or no assistance. Okay. So these are the things I would expect, some level of discipline, okay, and I certainly would want to answer as many of your questions. If you can just write to me, or you could just reach out to your coordinator and ask them any relevant, valid questions. They should be able to help you. And in case you wanted me to answer any of them, write to them, and I'll be able to respond to all those questions. Okay. Anything else that you wanted me to cover? Would you have any specific questions relevant to this course? So other than that, one important thing is you will be provided access to these servers. I believe it's about 2 to 3 months or so. You can just run it by the coordinator so that you would be able to practice at your own convenient time. So folks, I'm in just in next minute or two, right? I'll try and get access to the server, okay, so that I can just show you some of those particular modules. That certainly will provide you some kind of information out there, okay. Let me just look into these things. Probably I could just so I believe I've been working with some of the students in the recent past, and be it from US or from Asia, etc. They were talking about a course called Business Analytics. Okay, Business Analytics again is trying to gain some insight into the business performance. I certainly would say you getting into this particular course will provide you a head start, because what we are doing, even though we are saying we are using business objects or business intelligence, we are essentially looking at exploring and investigating the data, which is nothing but business analytics. So this is one particular area which is becoming very, very, I would say, famous in a good way, not infamous, but famous in a good way for most of the college students. So I certainly would say this is the easiest way for you to get into this particular course, and subsequently, right, you can start a career out of this particular course. So some of the, I can just show you some of the documentation and tutorials that is available. If we were to type in desktop intelligence tutorial, okay, online tutorial, okay, you have these demos out there, okay. If you look at it on the YouTube, besides what we are ready to cover in this particular course, there are out there some of those particular demos out there, and then you have something like web intelligence. Okay, these are the official product tutorials that are available for us. Okay, you could start looking at them. So again, what we would be essentially focusing on is the core concepts, and we will be working on those particular examples. Okay, we will be doing a lot of examples. Yeah, just give me 1 second. So folks, just give me a few seconds. So I just will be trying to access the server as such. So this is one of the servers we would be using. If you go to Start, okay, All Programs, SAP Business Intelligence, okay, you have SAP Business Objects. These are the different tools, okay. We talked about web intelligence, right? Desktop intelligence is obsolete at this point, okay. Desktop intelligence is obsolete, okay. It has only interim importance, okay. Wherever you have older versions of business objects, then they have to convert desktop intelligence to web intelligence. So that is desktop intelligence, but more importantly, this is the web intelligence tool. So it is a very simple drag and drop tool. It's going to open shortly. Okay, I would say new document. Okay, blank document. I'll say universe is the source. Say okay. ERP cloud servers. Okay. Just looking for the server name. Give me a second. Let me just key in. Okay, excellent. So we are able to log into the tool. Okay, you have these universe structures, okay, different names. Okay, we can just take a look at something called as eFashion. It's a fashion stores. It has data about the fashion stores. I could drag and drop, or I could double click on it. Okay. Then I could put it in a where condition, query filter. I can do a list of values, select it, and then, okay. So let's not pull this for some reason. Oh, okay. Database error. Just try and lose your chance. Yes. Let's try to look for something that is working. Universe. Let's see if this works. Oh, okay. Looks like. Interesting. Let's look at any of the Excel sources if those are available for us. Open document from server. Okay, let's look at some of the reporting examples. Okay. Let's look for any other universe. Okay, so let's give it a try. Let's see if this works. Otherwise, we'll just move on to the next one. Oh, okay. Okay, let's leave this for the time being. So it looks like there's a new server instance that requires some stuff. Okay, and you have something called as universe design tool. which we talked about earlier. So this is the universe structure. Okay, these are different tables. So don't be overwhelmed with it. Those are all very, very simple things. I would say if you understand the functionality of it, okay, these are different tables. These are small joins. Okay, whatever. This is just a pictorial information of joins that you would learn in SQL. Then these are the folders, are nothing but the classes or the classification of different objects. This is a year, quarter, month are all objects and they're called as dimensions. The green one is a detailed object. Okay, they are also called as attributes. Then the measures are these the orange objects. Those are measures. You can quantify them. You can summarize them. You can average them. So those are the different. These are all different objects that are available. These are the classes. These are the objects within the classes. So classes is nothing but a classification of different objects, a grouping of different objects. Then you also have this is the structural pane. Okay, this is a simple universe design. Okay, then other thing if you were to look for is information design tool. So for the information design tool, right, you have this local project. You can create your own new project. Within that project, right, whatever is its universe is called as okay, the connection to the database. Okay, that is the OLAP connection. I can just straight away say that this is OLAP connection or a regular RDBMS connection C1 con. I can give a specific name to it. Okay, and I can select what is the database that is available for us. Okay, maybe analysis services 2008 or analysis services 2010, or it could be Oracle, or it could be SAP HANA. It could be anything for that matter. Okay, so that's your connection. You could establish it wherever you have multiple databases, different databases. You want to pull data from different locations, from different databases. You will be using information design tool. In case of using building reports on only one single database, you will use universe design tool. Other than that, you have tools like business intelligence, and then you have the crystal reports 2013. This is one of the tools we may be covering a little bit. Okay, and then you have something like okay, I'm not the administrator, so I should just come out of that. Let me go through. Okay, probably just look at So I was earlier telling you the administration module, right? What's the username? 1 second. A user 3. So this is the administration module. You have folders, personal folders, you have the universes, you have the connections, then web service queries for dashboards, then you have servers. So business objects follows crystal reports architecture. It's called as the architecture is a common object requester broker architecture. It's called as CORBA. So you can enhance the capability of the servers by adding more memory here, okay, to each of these server processes. This is your server module, and within that central management console or administration, you have all these particular sections, okay, where you can control different tools from different areas. And what are the different applications that we come across? Is this? You have all these tons of applications that are available that you could, once you are familiar with the administration module, you will be administering all these users, as a matter of fact. Then most of the times, right, you would also as an end user, right, you would be accessing something called as BI Launchpad. That's where you would be using web intelligence. So username A user 3. Okay, so these are the different tools we may be using: Explorer, Web Intelligence, okay, Crystal Reports, okay, Information Steward. Again, Information Steward it's more to do with the ETL side of it. This is Analysis Edition for OLAP, okay, some module. If you were to look into this Web Intelligence here, okay, the plugin is not supported for some reason. So what we could do is copy it and probably use Internet Explorer. So we'll just wait for this to open up. Okay. This is a new document. You can use a universe here. Okay, these are some of the universes we have seen earlier. We'll just let's see, we may be in luck. Okay, excellent. This is working. I pull the year. Probably I'll just pull a store name. And then subsequently a measure, probably sales revenue. I can just run a simple report here. And I can just drag and drop these fields. So this is a simple report. Okay, probably you can make this a section header. So you can see the revenues for each store by year. Then I could convert it into a chart. Okay. So this is how powerful it is. You don't have to render the charts, etc. All the templates are pretty much available. So you can just take a look at it and then start building your own charts or graphs, whatever it is. I could probably right-click and then turn it into a pie chart. So it's a pretty powerful tool, if you were to ask me. So this is just, we're just scratching the surface of this particular tool. Web Intelligence is certainly one of the top reporting tools out there. It's pretty quick, easy to learn. I haven't written any SQL in this case, nor in most of the cases. Unless it is an exception, I don't really have to write the SQL. But more importantly, right, when you pull these objects together, those particular joins, etc., they're already out there. So if you look at this, this is the SQL underlying SQL. So that's the beauty of the universe design, where it writes the SQL on its own when you join those particular tables. So so these are some of the modules I thought I'll just share with you. And then there is some level of some tutorials that is available out there. You may want to take a look at it. This is pertaining to Web Intelligence. Okay, and there could be something related to UDT, Universe Design Tool tutorials. Okay. I could just say Universe Design Tool tutorials. So these are the official product tutorials. You can take a look at it. Okay. It says interactive video, whatever it is. What is this tutorial? You can see again, you can just browse through some information, will give you some more insight into this particular tool as such. Okay, so all these things, these are all very much possible. And if you were to look at something like a dashboard, SAP dashboard. We are currently dealing with 4.1 version. So one important aspect I just thought I'll just add it here. When you do this web intelligence or dashboards, they are all compatible with your iPhone or iPad most of the time. There could be some exceptions, but you can always view this information over the firewall, okay, and on your iPhone or iPad device. So you don't really have to do any kind of special coding to ensure that the graphs and reports render on an iPad or an iPhone. For that matter, it could be some kind of Android as such. So it certainly is one area that is improving. You call it as visual analytics or visualization. Now if we are considering iPad or iPhones, it's mobile analytics. So I mean, there is so much of scope for us to learn. There is so much of scope for improvement and certainly a lot more job security if it is pretty much going to run all the businesses. So it's much more easy for us to make a decision to get into this particular course. So what we will do, we'll close this session for now. We will reconvene again once the class starts. What I would strongly recommend you is reach out to your course coordinator, and then we should be, any questions, concerns, reach out to them, write to them. Don't hesitate to ask questions, get them clarified. If there is any questions that they won't be able to answer, they will certainly share it with me as far as the tool is concerned. We would be able to, I would try and answer as many questions you are able to say. So thank you very much for your time. Have a nice evening, or depending upon where you are, whether you are in Americas or in Asia. So have a good night for most of you. All right. Thank you.